Now at 4, hundreds of law enforcement officers are on the hunt for a killer suspected of taking the lives of 18 people and injuring 13 more in Maine. This as ABC is learning the suspect exhibited erratic behavior while serving as an Army reservist just this past summer. Thursday afternoon, I'm Sarah Bloomquist along with Brian Taff. And the big story on Action News is the ongoing search for 40-year-old Robert Card, who police say terrorized the town of Lewiston, Maine last night.
Yeah, investigators say he first opened fire at a bowling alley, then traveled a few miles away to open fire again, this time in a crowded bar. ABC's Rena Roy live in Lewiston tonight. Rena, another mass shooting causing so much grief in America, and now fear as that suspect remains on the run.
Well, Brian and Sarah, this area almost looks like a ghost town with business after business closed, block after block, really across this entire neighborhood. And you can only imagine the fear that people are feeling here in this community with an alleged mass murderer still on the loose. Officials confirming at least 18 people have been killed and 13 others wounded after a heavily armed gunman opened fire at 2 locations in Lewiston, Maine. Authorities releasing these surveillance images showing the suspect, 40-year-old Robert Card, as he entered a local bowling alley that was hosting a youth night for a kids' bowling league.
Out of nowhere, he just came in and there was a loud pop. Thought it was a balloon. I had my back turned to the door.
Police say Card then allegedly traveled about 4 miles to a bar and restaurant where police allege he shot several more victims. And since then, he's been on the run. Card's white Subaru, pictured here, was found at a boat launch in Lisbon. Officials say he owns a boat as well as a motorcycle.
He should be considered armed and dangerous. We believe this is someone that should not be approached.
Hundreds of federal, state, and local law enforcement agents joining forces to try and track him down. A shelter-in-place advisory is in effect for several communities. Many schools and businesses in the state closed as the manhunt continues.
I do ask the public to continue to be mindful of their own personal safety.
Over the summer, Card was deployed to a military training center in upstate New York to support training for West Point cadets. A defense official telling ABC News that back in July, he was behaving erratically and out of concern for his safety was taken to a mental health facility for evaluation. He spent 2 weeks there and allegedly threatened to shoot up a National Guard facility in Maine.
One source telling me this is the worst case scenario involving a highly skilled gunman who is irrational. Card is a firearms expert and Army reservist with a history of mental illness.
Flags at the White House and across Maine have been lowered to half-staff in memory of the victims. Now, according to the Gun Violence Archive, this is the 565th mass shooting here in the U.S. this year alone, and it is the deadliest since the massacre in Uvalde. Brian.
Rena, thank you.